Hi guys, my name is Ben Claybrook. I'm the solar guy, and today we're going to talk about how to not overpay for solar. There's so many numbers when it comes to solar power. I mean, you've got the size of the system, you've got the inverter, you've got the type of the panels. Sometimes it's really hard to tell if you're getting overcharged or not. So that's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cut through all the BS. I'm going to show you the easiest way to see if you're overpaying, what your neighbors are paying, and how to get the best deal possible when it comes to residential solar power. So basically, when you're comparing two cars, for example, if you want to find out which one is getting the most efficient car, then you look at miles per gallon, right? That's really the only unit to go off of. They can say how aerodynamic it is or how light it is, but really it comes down to that one unit, miles per gallon, to really know if one car is actually more efficient than the other. That way you know if you're getting a good deal or not, right? So when it comes to solar, the only way to really kind of cut through all the BS is to look at the price per watt. Now I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. Let's say your system, let's say you want to get a 20 panel system, 20 solar panels. And right now we're not going to go into details of what type of panels because there's so many different types. Really, the point of this video is to kind of show you how to cut through all the BS, cut through all the hype, and just really look at the core, one core unit that you can compare apples to apples if you're looking at multiple quotes. So let's say you're getting 20 solar panels and let's say they're charging $18,000. Right? So if you're, for example, getting a quote, $18,000 for a 20 panel system, plus the inverter, of course, can't forget that. Again, we're not going to go into details on which type of inverter, but what we're going to look at is we're trying to find a unit that we can really compare. Let's say you're getting multiple quotes, find out which one's the best deal. So what you're going to do is this 20 panel system, if there are 300 watt panels, is a 6 kilowatt system, right? So 20 times 300 is 6,000 watts. Let me just confirm that. So 20 times 300 is 6,000 watts, which is 6 kilowatts. So the only way to really compare apples to apples is to take the total price and divide it by the total watts. So 18,000 divided by 6,000, and you come to $3 per watt. That unit right there is the only way to really compare apples to apples. I don't know if you can even see that actually. So it basically says $3 per watt. The way I got there is 18,000 divided by 6,000. 18,000 is the total price, divided by 6,000 watts, the total size. The way you get this number, if they're quoting you 20 panels, just multiply 20 times the wattage of the panels. Usually most proposals are going to say how big the system is. They do the math for you. But if they didn't, just multiply the number of panels by the wattage of the panels. So if they're 300 watt panels, 300 times 20, you have yourself 6,000 watts, or in other words, 6 kilowatts. So just take total price divided by total watts. This number right here is magic. So now when you're getting quotes, you're getting proposals, you can really compare, okay, you know, it might be a nicer panel, it might be a nicer inverter, but now I can really see how much more I'm actually paying for that system, regardless of how big or how small the system is. Or if you want to go one level deeper, you want to see what your neighbors are paying, I'm going to show you that on my desktop here in a second. All right, so this tool right here is one of my favorites just because it can be extremely useful and extremely transparent. It's a government site, so you know it's not just a marketing angle or a marketing hook. It cuts right to the chase, right? So you go to californiadgstats.ca.gov. Unfortunately, it's only available in California. I haven't seen this type of platform in another state yet. I'm sure they'll start rolling them out, but this is good. Even if you live in another state, it's really nice to be able to see what other people are paying for solar in California. If you live in California, just type in your zip code right here. Or if you don't live in California and you want to pull up an area, just go to Google Maps, do a pin drop, and you can see a zip code, and just type in that zip code here. This is San Diego, and you can go through and you can see with 266 recent installations, the average cost per watt is $4.38. When I dig down even deeper, you can see this is what each company charged that customer. So obviously you don't see their name, but you see the zip code, see the company name, and you can see the cost per watt. And this is the system size. And this again is why I kind of covered in that first part of the video. The only real way to compare apples to apples is to look at cost per watt, so the dollars per watt, because that way we can really see, you know, regardless of the panel type or the inverter type, even though those are, you know, important factors, it's sometimes refreshing to cut through all that and just see, okay, what am I being charged? You know, what's the bottom line here? and you can see basically what each company is charging. It's interesting to see, sometimes they'll charge more for a smaller system, and sometimes the bigger companies like Solar City is charging, more. Usually you would see a bigger company charging less, but it's interesting to see kind of what each company is charging, what people are paying. It can be really good for you to know if you've gotten a quote. And that way you know if you're on the higher end or on the lower end. What I'm seeing is to get a really good deal with solar, you'd be around $3 per watt if it's cash, or $3.50 if you're financing it. Most people are going to be financing in these days, so most people are going to be around the $3.50 stage. All right. So again, this website is californiadgstats.ca.gov. So I hope you found that helpful. Check out that website. Whether you live in California or not, really good to see what other people are paying for solar. Just a quick recap. Go ahead and take the total price they quoted you and divide it by the total size, and you have your cost per watt. If you'd like to get a second proposal, I definitely recommend, you can save usually 10 to 20% more. Go ahead and click the link down below or to the side wherever they have that link now. And we can basically, the way we work is we have multiple installers compete for your home. So that way we kind of do the shopping for you, and it ends up saving you, 20 to 40% more. Just because we've been doing for solar for so long, we can usually get better equipment at a better price. Just because we're so familiar with it. So again, click that link, free solar calculator, find out exactly how much you can save today. Thanks for watching. Bye.